Howdy, Philly, and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at John chapter 14, verse 15 right here, finishing off this page. Here is the rubric that we look at all the time and completely ignore. Let's go ahead and get started. Oops. Lege pros auton hei gune. Kyrie, dos moi tuto to hudor. Hina me dipso me de dierkomai enthade antlein. And there we have it. So, very first word, epsilon iota right there. That's going to be our third person singular. Present, stem, and it's active and indicative. And this one we're probably going to treat as we would normally treat as a historical present. That is, it's present in form, but in the English translation we would convert it into the past tense. And the justification behind this is ancient authors like to write their narrative events in the present when they want to draw the reader in more. And English just doesn't do that, unfortunately. But I'm still going to translate it as a present here. Okay, so says, we're looking for subject, pros, prepositional phrase right there, taking the accusative with auton, which is masculine, pointing back to Jesus, and it is singular. Hei gune, here we have hei from hoheto. So this one is going to be our subject, gune, which is a third. I can never remember the genitive. Gunaikos, I think. But anyway, nominative, singular, feminine. The woman says to him. Quotes. Here we have our epsilon ending, which is the pretty uncommon vocative singular and masculine. Lord, which if you recall, I think when we had epistasa is the other one, a teacher. Some scholars take it that in the New Testament, when people are speaking to Jesus, if they call him Kyrie, that means they have faith in him, faith in what he's preaching. But if they say something like didaske, no, not didaske, that's teach, didaskale, or if they call him epistasa, they might not have faith. And I don't know what credence there is actually to that. But let's let her words speak for her own faith. So, dos, this is from didomi. We've seen this beforehand. Actually, back in verse 7, this is what Jesus says to her, so that is the second person singular, present, active, imperative. Give, moi is our dative singular, and this is repeating what Jesus said, except instead of pain, I think it is, we have tuto to hudor, so both of those omicrons right there go with the neuter, so these three together, neuter, singular, and accusative, I know, backwards. Give this water to me. And note that the moi is not emphatic. There's no epsilon there on the front. So, if it had been emphatic, I don't know really how that would change our translation. I don't know if that would indicate a different sense in how she is saying it. The lack of emphatic, I don't know if it would tell us either. What I'm meaning by this is, I don't know if we had the emphatic emoi, if that would tell us that she's being sarcastic here or not. I would have to look through a lot of other Greek literature to figure out, is that how they talked? Because this is such a strange situation right here, talking about normal water versus water of life. I don't know. So, can't really read into that and shouldn't read into that. That's a dangerous thing to do. Hina, so here we have a clause either of purpose or result. We don't have the normal adverbs or adjectives that might lead up to a result. So I'm going to say this is probably purpose, but let's take a look at the verb. Dipso, here we have the circumflex to tell us that this is a contracted vowel, as we already talked about before in previous video, and I think a couple videos prior to that, versus prior to that, I should say. So this is a contraction of either alpha, sorry, not either, of one of these three, alpha, epsilon, or omega, with omega again, and the accent would be on each of these, and then it changes into a circumflex when the two smush together. So I think this is Doric, this is Ionic, and then this is Attic or Koine. So the technical vowel in there is an alpha. Could have these two swapped out. But I could have their origin mixed up. Could be the other way around. So this is just telling us what that contraction is. But we should also note that this specific type of clause, there are two options for what this verb form actually could be. We know at the very least first person singular. And then it could be either the present active indicative or the subjunctive. Both of the forms, to my knowledge, are identical. And I don't remember which one would be more appropriate here, but I think the subjunctive with the hina clause. In order that I may drink, or I may thirst, I may not thirst. Or in order that I do not thirst, maybe if it was a present. But memory's failing me there. So may day here telling us that this is a new clause inside this purpose clause. And not the erkomai, mu alpha iota for our first person singular, erk of the present tense. It is deponent. And then that omega right there instead of the omicron we would normally expect tells us that this is subjunctive, supporting the idea that dipso is also subjunctive. And overcoming my lack of memory. All right, and this one means to come through, to pass through. Pass through in thade, and thade is a adverb that means either to this place or to that place. Using the Old English, which I most definitely will do, it means either hither or thither. Love those words. So between those two, it's going to be hither because we know they're at the well, and on plane, here, epsilon iota, another contract verb. This is on pleo, so epsilon contract. This is present active, oops, that's a weird feat. T, active infinitive, so in order that I do not pass and not pass through hither to this well to draw. So she doesn't want to have to do that again. So hither and not pass through to with implied water. And I don't know if this is the inverse statement. It probably will be, but I'm going to leave off the quote marks until we translate the next verse and then go through the review. But here we have 15 so far. Let's take a look at it in its own context, and then from verse 7. The woman says to him, Lord, give this water to me, in order that I may not thirst and not pass through hither to draw. Implied water. Yeah, makes sense in English. Now, 7. A woman comes from Samaria to draw water. Jesus says to her, Give to me to drink. For his disciples, had gone into the city in order to buy victuals. She says therefore to him, the Samaritan woman, How do you, being a Jew, ask for me to drink, although I am a Samaritan woman? For Jews do not have dealings with Samaritans. Jesus answered and said to her, If you had known the gift of the God and who it is the one saying to you, Give to me to drink, you would ask him, and he would give to you living water. The woman says to him, Lord, you do not indeed have a bucket, and the pit is deep. From where, therefore, do you have the water, the living? Surely you are not greater than our father Jacob, who gave to us the well, and he drank from it, and his sons and his domesticated animals? Jesus answered and said to her, Everyone who drinks from this water will be thirsty again. But whoever drinks out of the water which I myself will give to him will by no means thirst forever. But the water which I will give to him will be in him spring of welling up water for life eternal. The woman says to him, Lord, give this water to me, in order that I may not thirst and not pass through hither to draw. And there we have it. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope taking a look at this has been helpful for you, and I hope that you have a probably by now good New Year. I don't know. It's been busy. Farewell.
What? You're still awake? Why are you still here then? You should be reading a book. Or if not reading, you should watch one of these other videos. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. See you next week.